1, 3. Blacker than black can be, blackety black, the big black man. Black people, I'm sitting here with Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, Jason's Lyrics live, and we're going to be talking about different things that the impact of him being named ambassador for the Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Music Festival, along with the late Louis Gossett Jr. And of course, we're rounding up the numbers, so I've been traveling all over everybody, trying to get everybody ready for June 14th and 15th, right here at Piedmont Park in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're going to have the Parade and Music Festival, and Lawrence is going to just in good faith, just support us and endorse us, and so we can keep Black history alive in this country. Welcome to the Big Black Man Podcast, Juneteenth Atlanta Podcast and Music Festival.
Thank you, my brother. Cool, man.
You know, Lawrence, I met you a while back, but like I said, the impact, the reason why you were selected for the Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Music Festival, that's because as a teenager in the 70s, a young Arnold Penix, saw this movie called Cooley High. And it was the first time my mother and father and my little brother and my little sister all piled into the car and went to that movie.
Ain't that something?
That is something, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm thrilled to death because when I was watching you on the screen, you represented me because I'm not that much younger than you. Because I was in 1977, 76.
A little bit younger.
A little bit, a tad. But I'm 39, though. I can't tell everybody I'm 39.
That's
but
where you got to stop.
Exactly, because that's the age range. You know how actors, you played actors.
You've been 39 for a long time.
Exactly. So you
could be 45 for a while.
Exactly. Be 45 for a while. Some 39 for a while.
We're going to age gracefully. That's how we're doing it.
Exactly. I'm a Cancerian 7-11 because, for those who don't know me, I was on Kiss FM for a year and a half on the Jeff Fox Morning Show. And what I was doing was dealing with the fact that we were doing Numerology Tuesdays. And so I know this man is a Virgo, correct?
Absolutely.
A Virgo.
Absolutely.
And I'm a Cancer, 7-11. And what's your September?
4th.
September 4th. 4. That's the same. That number 4, y'all. That number 4.
What does it mean, number 4?
Number 4 is rule. It's like
the bathroom twice. Like number
4 is like you are hard worker.
Oh, that's
hard worker,
that's
very
real.
hard worker, and like it's no nonsense. If someone say green, you say blue.
Yeah, we keep it moving.
And you keep it moving, so you take you're a perfectionist and everything.
Yeah, that part is true. Yeah.
Very, very much so. And so you don't take any nonsense. But the number 4 is misunderstood by a lot of people. Misunderstood by a lot of people. Through your whole life, you had a strong work ethic, and they just didn't understand, your need for perfectionism. You understand?
Everybody's got their rhythms. Everybody's got their outlooks or points of view, and to respect somebody's way is always tough because it's not their way.
Exactly.
But that's the way it goes.
And so what happens? So sometimes you have to learn to accept people for who they are.
We always should have to do that.
Exactly, because we want to change. Because Virgos, they like to fix.
We're fixers. People. We're perfectionists. We're methodical about things. We're not Methodists, but we're cool. Yeah.
But because like I say, I do a lot of life coaching with a lot of celebrities. Okay,
cool.
And what happens is that when they come to a Virgo, they're so strict, and they want me to eat this, and they want me to eat that. I said,
I never heard of that. I mean, I don't strong arm anybody that way.
Exactly. But just with women, I'm just talking about the women.
Do what you want to do.
As far as dating is concerned, women can do what they want to do, but at the same time, you should be allowed to do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
And be free.
And something, that's an individual choice that we have to make for ourselves. We have to decide. First we have to decide what you're doing is right. You have to decide that you matter.
Right.
And then you take that as an encouragement to yourself, to springboard to do what you need to do, and that'll build your confidence in time.
Absolutely.
But that's the only way.
Beyonce is also a 6. She's September 6th.
No, she's September 4th, like me.
Oh, that's right. It is 4th. She's the 4th.
She's the 4th. Candy Alexandria is the 4th. Damon Wayans is the 4th.
All the 4th. And also, there's the number October 4th is also like dealing with who's October 4th? What?
Somebody.
November 4th is P. Diddy.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
He had to be born.
He had to be born. Like I said, we all got our thing. We got our thing. But the 4 people, like I say, it's all or nothing.
Of course. Absolutely.
It's all or nothing. It's no middle ground.
No.
There's no in between.
Well, something, you blend it. I mean, I always call life like a roller coaster of dynamics. You ride the wave. You ride the dips and the slows and the dynamics. That's how I see life. And that's how I've been from raising kids or being a father or whatever. Or
how many kids you have?
I had 2 daughters.
2 daughters.
And it all comes out of, it springboards out of our truth and how we allow that to let its culture into what it's going to become.
Absolutely.
So that's where I come from, yeah.
Absolutely. So we springboard. I got into my numerology, God knows, and everything of that nature. But I'm glad to know that you're a 4 because Beyonce falls on my birthday as well, September 4th. You're right, and like the 4 is definitely a perfectionist. But the first time I noticed, I saw a picture that's out on social media right now. It's a picture of the original cast of Cooley High, and then you guys now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys formed a strong bond and relationship through that.
So this day, I talked to Glenn Turman today. Next week, I'm in Los Angeles. We're shooting a short film together. He and I called When They're Gone.
Okay.
And we wanted to do it because we've known each other forever. We're great friends.
Exactly.
But we haven't been on film together in 50 years. So we're gonna play 80-year-old guys. So he's closer to 80 than me. But we're gonna do it. It's gonna be cool. Yeah.
But it's so interesting that you have found a way to connect with actors. Because sometimes
they're not actors. In that
they're your
sense,
people.
They're your friends.
They're your friends.
I mean, I've been an actor now going into 57 years, which is a lifetime. I've been doing this since I was 15. I'm 71. And what you do, at least in my estimation of it, is that it becomes just part of life and how you grow. So my friends who happen to be actors are friends, which is Richard Lawson or my friend Art Evans, who moved on. He mentioned Lugasa was a great friend too. They were friends first and second.
Before anything.
And then the performances we, of course, respect and admire, but that came afterwards. We almost never talk about show business.
Let me ask you something. Because you have this type of chemistry with them, it did make a difference in your interaction on the camera, of course.
Well, that comes from a lot of things. That comes from how you interact with people, how you perceive life, how honest you are, because it's about honesty.
It's about honesty.
Everything is based out of your truth, or a truth, even if it's a realized truth, and then you have to let that build into something. So it all comes from there. But of course, it influences yourself as an actor, how subtle and honest you want to be. You get bold sometimes, a little bit brave, because you have to be. You got to be a little nuts.
Well, you have to have a little something. I do talent management. I have to agree with you on that. The drill. They're not robots. You're real people.
Real
people.
Just water and stir.
And that's it. It's a lot going on with personal management. God knows I'm one.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot.
You know the drill.
Okay, you said something about how did you handle the character? You played Joe Jackson, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
That is a multi-dimensional situation. You hear so much about him. Sure. How did you prepare to play this man?
Again, first I read the script about 4,000 times, so that gave me some influences. Then I thought about my own family tree. I came from a family of 9 kids like them.
Okay.
6 boys or 3 girls, exactly the same.
Wow.
My father was not as extreme as Joe, but he was tough. Hilton, Texas, who I'm named after.
Okay.
And so that gave me a lot of the springboard. But you have to follow instincts. I know Joe, and I know the family forever, way before I ever knew I was going to play it. Okay. But I didn't try to use that as I'm going to try to be the Joe. Okay. I'm going to be the essence of who he is and the idea of where it's coming from in terms of to display a point of view. So I did that, and that was my way of finding the levels. Like in every, we played the character from 20 to 24.
I know.
And I was 38 when I did it. And what I did is every scene where we had to go through different years, I would always write on the top of my screen why I love my kids. So he gave me a through line to find out that he was just one guy or an ogre or he just mean, which is nonsense. He made 9 babies. That takes a lot of love. Let's keep it real.
Let's keep it real.
And so that gave me a springboard to have a dynamic. And then I got along with the kids. Even to this day, Alex, who played Little Michael in the movie, is 41 now, but he's still like my son.
Oh,
and
wow.
his daughter, Tara, is like my grandbaby. And Angel Vargas, who played Tito, we're tight to this very day.
Wow.
And as an adult. So, springboard things came out of that pretty nice. Of course, Angela Bassett's still in the mix, too,
I mean, you were phenomenal.
I appreciate that, man.
My God, it was like going to a master class.
It was a very involving role. I realized what I had. The script was the size of a phone book. I couldn't believe how thick that thing was. It's a 5-hour movie, and so it was a lot to learn. But you do it a piece at a time.
Tell me about how when you came in to read for, did they tap you, or did you have to come in? Did you have to audition for this?
You have to bring it. They read everybody for that thing.
They read everybody, right?
I mean, I don't care if it was Erica Sal or Dorian Harewood or Vanessa Bell Calloway or Casey Lemons or Candy.
Everybody had to read,
and everybody was good. Dorian Harewood, whoever came in, they were laying it down hard.
Right.
So it becomes a matter of boiling it down to what you think you need. I can never put a hard pinpoint on it, but I wonder if this is what got me when I went in to do the 7th audition. And I had to do a scene where I was just disciplining the kids. I just started punching this cabinet in the thing, and I kicked the chair over. I don't know if I scared the shit out of them or not, but I think that maybe that was the influence. They was like, this guy's he's to the left.
Okay.
You don't really know the definitive, but all I could do is stay into my focus.
Okay.
It's tough, when you're going back. They said it was going to be 3 auditions. It wound up being 7. They had cast Angela 6 weeks before me. So they had something was held them back from wanting to pick who would play Joe, because all the influences would come. I'm not going to name all the friends.
Sure.
But it works out when it works out. And I'll be honest, when I finally got the role, it was at the 11th hour. And they finally gave it, and I was so burnt out I didn't want to read the script. But I know when I get like that, I get myself away from it. Then I got up the next morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I read it with a clear head.
Okay.
And then we were off running. And the next day I was in there recording a song for the movie. And that weekend I was in Pittsburgh shooting. Yeah, so that's it.
What a golden moment in your career.
Yeah, very nice. Very good.
Because like you said, people know you as the Welcome Back Carter person and everything. But when you did that, you changed the perspective. You changed the shift. We saw that you had a commanding presence.
Again, you play the honesty of the person. Or play the honesty of the moment.
Right.
Whether it's Welcome Back Carter or Cooley High, whatever.
And you were phenomenal in all of it.
I'm not saying it for that reason. I'm just saying that you have to go into the core of the honesty.
Yes, you do.
And let that come out, and then that comes in the role. And if you have some ability as an actor, then you can bring forth. I'm certainly not scared as an actor, and so that is what brought it around for me. I'm fearless as an actor. I'm none. No fair. I go after it, and I don't care if somebody thinks I look weird or this and that.
But you're gonna be real and honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the real.
This is great advice for aspiring young actors, and guess that would be one of the major advice you would give them.
It is. I say first, and I said this to young actors. I said first, we'll be honest, because we know our limitation. We know when we're full of it. We know when we're BSing. So recognize that. I said, and then come out of what works for you. You can only base it on your instincts in the beginning, because that's all you have. That's what method acting is. You bring it back to your truth.
That's true.
Then once you get an understanding of that, then you can start to color it or shape it up. I want to walk a certain way. I'm going to talk a certain way, whatever. And that becomes more how you shape the role, in what might become the finish. But up until then, you must let the material happen to you. Not to try to dictate it. Let it affect you and let it come to you. Okay.
Well, look like we got the call. I got the call. I can talk to you all day long. But I tell you, the last thing I want to talk to you, of course, those who know me, I was working with National Action Network. I'm an activist. Artivism is my thing. As Director of Arts and Culture for the past 16 years, you have a project. Do you want to speak about that?
Not a whole. I wrote a project on the life of Al Sharpton.
Okay.
He's a good guy, and a buddy. And Al read it and liked it.
He did.
We met on
No justice, no peace.
That's in the script. And so we're pursuing that.
Okay. Yeah. So that's in the works. That's in development. And of course, like I said, how did you get the role? You were a young actor and everything. Was it after Cooley High when you got Welcome Back Carter?
It happened like this. I had done Claudine, and then based on that movie, I didn't read for Cooley High. They just had me come in and talk to them, like Michael Schultz and the producer Steve Krantz, and then that worked out. And then a few months later, I was flown to Los Angeles to screen test for the original Sparkling movie. Got down between me and Philip Thomas. They decided to go with Philip Michael, which right on. And I said, well, that was it. Now we're getting ready to go home. And they said, well, come over to NBC. We have this show called Carter.
Okay.
Well, the rest is history.
And the rest is history. And I can't believe I'm sitting here talking with you. When Leon invited me, when I first met you, you were at the Beacon Theater in that show. What was the name of that show?
Mr. Right Now.
Mr. Right Now.
That's 20 years ago, man. Yeah.
20 years ago. And we had Chinese food. We went across the street. They had Chinese food. And I just was like, and I told Leon, because Leon directed my play. I'm a playwright. So I wrote the play about Tupac Shakur, Judgment Day.
Okay, wow.
So, and I'm also an award-winning playwright, believe it or not. I wrote a play about Dr. Martin Luther King called The Peacemaker, and a new play about Marcus Garvey, because I believe in keeping our history alive through storytelling, and that's why they let the Black History Studios here. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia now to set up the Black History Studios, and which we can keep our history alive because they're trying to remove our history out of it.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
You do it through plays, you do it through films, you do it through writing, you do it through podcasts, but keep the information out there.
Absolutely.
Keep it in people's heads. That's how the history stays solid, because somebody's going to tap onto it.
And because the reason why I tapped you, because I felt you had the integrity and you had the honesty that we need to promote. And
we got to keep it real. You know, we got to stay honest. You know, I always say, man, go home and go kiss the kids, man, or go get that hamburger, man. But keep it be truthful.
Be truthful. Yes, and that's what we definitely want to be truthful. And like I said, in this play, what role? And you're playing the narrator. Okay, I'm going to see it later on this evening.
Yeah, I'm playing Mad Dog in the Jason's lyric, and which was originated by Forrest Whitaker in the movie version.
Okay, that's
and
right.
I'm the wayward, well, not the wayward father, but I'm the father that's messing up. He's all messed up. I'll say no more than that.
Well, I thank you for being a part of it.
You got it, brother.
And I thank you for being who you are and living your truth.
I appreciate it, man. Cool.
Because it's very, very important. And like I said, my father was a Virgo. My father was September 9th. And believe me, I felt it, brother. Believe me, I felt it. My beautiful mother was a Pisces, March 5th. Yeah. So they loved their children. There was Arnold, Stinnett, and Stanley Jr. Yeah, but my father was like a stern, and he worked so hard.
That's my pops, too. Man. West Indian, hardcore, merchant marine.
Yeah, man.
But, you know, we came out all right.
We came out all right, didn't we?
We
didn't do too bad because I thank my upbringing. Yeah. I thank my father and my mother. I did have both parents in the home.
Yeah,
and so we are blessed.
Yeah, no, you don't take that lightly.
We don't take that lightly because when I went to A&T State, you know, I realized a lot of people didn't have that.
Too many people didn't have that.
Too many people.
And that was it. And they kept trying to figure it out. So
yeah, so so thank you so much. Brother. And that's our the Juneteenth Atlanta podcast. Welcome, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. And as always, I'm blacker than black can be, blacker than black, the big black man. Pay your light bill. You know who I'm talking about. I'm out.